Good morning, and we're in chapter 18, and this is a great one because it goes right into prophecies of Christ. Let's see what it says. The priests, the Levites, and all the tribe of Levi shall have no part nor inheritance with Israel. Think about this. I didn't really put it down in red, but think about it as the Savior. Remember, he said, the Son of Man have not anywhere to lay his head. This seems to also refer to it as that he is a high priest of good things to come. In other words, he didn't have an inheritance as such. They shall eat the offerings of the Lord made by fire and his inheritance. In other words, they are going to take these offerings and have them, those things that were cooked or burnt in the offerings, that is his inheritance. And remember, these are done unto the Lord to remember the Lord, the Savior. Therefore, they have no inheritance among their brethren. The Lord is their inheritance. He has said unto them. I think that's a beautiful way. And if we think of it today, that we need to come unto the Lord and have him be our inheritance in everything as well. But remember, in this time, it was specifically the Levites, and the Levites was to be that the people that pointed people to the Savior, to the Lord, to Yeshua, if I said it right, to their Savior and King. That's what their job was. And they shall be the priests do from the people, from them that offer the sacrifice, whether it be ox or sheep. And they shall give unto the priest the shoulder, and the two cheeks, and the maw being the stomach, and the first fruit also of thy corn. And remember, corn is any wheat material, wheat and barley and whatever, and of thy wine and of thy oil, the first of the fleece of thy sheep shalt thou give him. For the Lord thy God hath chosen him out of the tribes to stand to minister in the name of the Lord forever. So you see that he is there to represent that, and so to take care of them is an obligation that is important. And if a Levite come from any of thy gates or cities out of Israel, all of Israel, wherefore he sojourned and come with all the desire of his mind unto the place which the Lord shall choose, then he shall minister in the name of the Lord his God, and as all his brethren the Levites do, which stand there before the Lord. They shall have like portions to eat, beside that which cometh of the sale of his patrimony. In other words, all of the Levites will have the same amount. They share out together. When thou art come into the land which the Lord thy God give thee, thou shalt not learn to do after the abominations of the nations. And here is the warning again. For there shall not be found among you any one that maketh his son or daughter to pass through the fire. In other words, this is saying, don't sacrifice like the others, sons and daughters, if you can imagine. Remember, that was one of the reasons why they were to destroy these people, is because they were offering their sons and daughters as sacrifices to gods, or that useth divination, or observer of times, or an enchanter, or a witch, or a charmer, or a consulter, or a familiar spirits, or wizard, or necromancer. For all that do these things are an abomination unto the Lord. And because of these abominations, the Lord thy God doth drive them out from before thee. He makes it very clear of why this is happening. It's not just because he wants a different people to be in there. It's because these people have not listened to him, and they are turning to things that are abominable to him. Thou shalt be perfect with the Lord thy God. And remember, perfect often means whole when we talk about perfect in the Bible. For these nations which thou shalt possess or dispossess, hearkened unto observers of times and unto diviners. But as for thee, the Lord thy God hath not suffered thee to do so. And then here comes this wonderful thing, and I'm just going to read the side note. Who is the prophet like unto Moses? Moses prophesied that the Lord would raise up a future prophet like unto him among the Israelites, is quoted or alluded to many times throughout the scriptures. Many Jews in Jesus Christ's time used the phrases like that prophet or the prophet when referring to the Messiah. After his resurrection, Jesus Christ declared that he was the fulfillment of Moses' prophecy. He taught, Behold, I am he of whom Moses spake, saying, A prophet shall the Lord your God raise up unto you of your brethren, like unto me. Him shall ye hear in all things whatsoever he shall say unto you. And it shall come to pass that every soul who will not hear the prophet shall be cut off from among the people. To see examples of similarities between Moses and Jesus Christ, you can read some of those things. So let's go on. This is prophecies about Jesus Christ. So the Lord thy God will raise up unto thee a prophet from amidst of thee, of thy brethren, like unto me, yet unto him ye shall hearken, according to all that thou desirest of the Lord thy God in Horeb. Remember Horeb, when they got together and they're like afraid to approach the Lord at that time, in the day of the assembly, saying, Let me not hear again the voice of the Lord my God, neither let me see this great fire any more, that I die not. Moses is saying, the Lord wanted you to be able to come into his presence at that time. You decided to listen to me as his spokesman, but wouldn't come directly to him. Now there's going to be a time when the Lord will speak again. And the Lord said unto me, they have well spoken, which they have spoken. In other words, they weren't ready. But then there's going to be a time, I will raise up a prophet from among, a prophet from among their brethren, like unto thee, and will put my words into his mouth, and he shall speak unto them that I shall command him. And it mentions here in Exodus, and there went a man from the house of Levi and took a wife and daughter of Levi. I don't know why I marked that there. Sorry. But, and it came to pass that whosoever will not hearken unto my words, which he shall speak in my name, I required of him. So if they don't listen to this prophet, it is going to be required that, but a prophet which shall presume to speak a word in my name, which I have not commanded him to speak, or that speak in the name of other gods, even that prophet shall die. Meaning false prophets, false Christs. And if thou say in thine heart, how shall we know the word which the Lord hath not spoken? When a prophet speaketh in the name of the Lord, if that thing follow not, nor come to pass, that the thing which the Lord hath not spoken, but the prophet hath spoken it presumptuously, thou shalt not be afraid of him. So that is how they said we know, and there's more said about that in our time as well, but that is, well, we look at Christ and see all the things he's done and keep our eyes on Christ.